Good morning, everyone. Blinker Fluid here. We got Brian. You got Lucas and his big, massive head. Just wanted to. Today's a pretty big launch, and right now we're sitting in a Tesla CyberTruck.
He's such a liar. We wish we were.
We wish we were, but a lot of people are going to be able to see it today. There is the launch going on for it, and there's a lot of speculation on a lot of things with this van, or excuse me, with this truck. So
There is.
We definitely big fans of Tesla and what they've been able to do, but
This is the first foray into trucks, electric trucks in America. And we know there's other trucks coming out. The Rivian has a truck coming out. You've got Bollinger with a truck coming out. But Tesla's been around, done well with their cars.
Mhm.
So now they're coming out with a truck. How is that going to appeal in this truck market? So, but first, I think to really get to the meat of that discussion, we just need to talk about trucks in general.
correct.
So, the top selling truck in America is what?
Ford
F-Series, right?
F-Series, yep. 900,000 units, was it?
900,000 units sold last year. But here's the interesting fact. It's not just the top selling truck. It's the top selling vehicle in the United States, right? And then right behind it is your GM trucks. About 800,000 units last year.
What was Ram at?
Ram was right around almost exactly 600,000 units.
Okay.
Now, so here's your top 3 selling trucks in America. Now, which one would you guess would be next? So you've got the Ford F-Series, you got Chevy, you've got Ram. What's your next top selling truck in the United States? Anybody have a guess? What do you think?
Great question.
It's the Toyota Tacoma.
Oh,
So
that's not even the same class.
It's not the same class, exactly, and it's a big drop off. Not even 250,000 units. So, just over 1/3 of how many that Ram sold. So there's a big drop off between first, second, third, and then your fourth selling truck. And then you don't get back to a big truck again until the Toyota Tundra at 118,000 units.
It's actually surprising that the Tundra is not up there and higher.
Me too.
Now, they did come out with a new body style this last year. I believe they moved over to the Cummins, or was it Allison? One of the two. Brought some new things to their truck and changed it up. So yeah, a little surprising to see that they're not up there as well.
But see, here's the thing about truck owners, and I don't own a truck. My dad has owned Ford F-Series for a long time. He loves them. Here's the interesting about those truck buyers are way different in general than your car buyers, right? Truck owners need them for heavy duty use. A lot of them. Not every truck owner uses it for that. Some people just want a truck. They want something that sits up higher. I think that's one of the reasons that Toyota Tundra has struggled in the United States is because your people that want to buy a truck in the United States want a truck from a U.S. based
Big three.
From the big three.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings a big question. Then. How's Tesla going to compete against the big three? Yes, they're U.S. based, but a lot of, in my opinion, and I haven't done any research on this, but in my opinion, your typical truck buyer is going to say they're not U.S. based. Yeah, they're out of California, but they don't really consider them in that same realm as your Ford, Chevy, Ford, GM, and Dodge Ram.
Well, not yet.
Not yet.
And exactly. I can see that because I mean, we go back through the history of Tesla and where they started, no one thought that they were going to ever take off. And now,
okay. So why did they? When other electric automakers have struggled a little bit, I mean, Toyota Prius has done pretty well. Nissan Leaf has done pretty good, but it hasn't taken off like crazy, right?
Correct.
You don't see them all over the place.
Well, and I think it has to do with the looks and the styling. Tesla opened up making a car that the average person can look at and say that's a really good looking car.
Yeah.
I would say the Prius is not a great looking car by any
I can't
means.
stand
I
it.
think
I
most
think it's
blind
ugly.
people would probably agree with me on that.
I
But
wouldn't buy one for that reason.
yeah, I mean, if you're taking a look at the history of actual Tesla and what they've been able to do in the market, I mean, they've spiked it up. So I would guess that their truck is going to have success. Is it going to beat Ford? I don't think so.
No,
Is it going to compete in that Chevy Ram kind of
I
range?
don't know if it'll get close to that,
I think
but
it's
it could take over and become your fourth top selling large truck at some point,
correct.
if it's a large truck. We don't know.
Too much speculation.
There's way too much speculation. We don't even really know 100% what it's going to look like. There's been a lot of renderings.
Mm-hmm.
Some I think are pretty dang ugly, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's going to turn a lot of people off. I don't think it's going to be that crazy style that we've seen. We've seen some other renderings. I think they're pretty decent. It's definitely different than a Ford F-150.
Yeah. Well, there's one of those renderings that does look like an F-150. It looks like kind of like a cross between an F-150 and a Ram, which is appealing to me because I like Fords.
But Elon,
he's going to go all out.
He's already said it's a Cybertruck. It's going to be different, and that might be okay. I mean, because what does Tesla need to do to compete against Ford? Well, before we get there, let's talk about what we do know. Let's talk about what we do, or what we have a decent idea of what it's going to be. We know about the price, about $50,000. Starting though, right? I mean, if you look at the Tesla Model 3, it said it's going to start at 35. How many people actually spent $35,000 on it? Not that many, because they started with the most expensive version, right? So by the time you got your all-wheel drive, your dual motors, and other capabilities, your autopilot and all those things, you're into the, I think you're 50, 60, up to $80,000 for a Model 3. I don't think many people spent $80,000.
Yeah.
But you're still significantly above the starting price of $35,000. Now, I think eventually they're getting, now that they've gotten past their founder series, right? Now they're selling mass market, really. And so they probably are closer to that $35,000 now. Okay, so starting price $50,000. That's a good price for a truck, I think. Because let's talk about the price of trucks. Ford F-150 or base model starts at $28,000.
Correct.
The Chevy Sierra is $29,600. But then if you want higher payload and more towing, if you want to seat 4 people, right, you need a dual cab. So you're gonna get up higher. Obviously, you add options of stuff, but your Ford Super Crew XLT with a 3.5 liter engine that can tow. Let's see, that one can tow 21,000 pounds. That one right now is selling for just over 54,000, but with incentives you can get it down to 43. So it's still going to be cheaper than Tesla.
Yeah.
Your Chevy Sierra starts at 29,600, but your Denali, which you want if you're going to want higher towing
TVs and everything else built into it,
you're 55,000, and that probably is in the range of the Tesla. Because Tesla's they're a luxury vehicle. They don't go cheap. They're nice.
They're very nice.
We've been in them, right? Ryan owns one.
Yeah.
I've had a chance to drive one a couple times. They're very nice.
And their attention to detail is impeccable.
Impeccable. The materials are impeccable. Not to say that the cars are built 100% perfect. There's little things that go wrong. Reliability things, but they're built well.
Yeah.
They're very high class. They're a luxury vehicle. So we know that Elon's not gonna chintz on that, right? It's gonna be luxury. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah. He's gonna go all out.
All right. Towing capability. That's important.
Yeah.
So
especially for those people that are going to be using this for work. I don't necessarily see a lot of people using it for work right now, but then again, we didn't see the Tesla evolving to where it is now, 10 years ago. So you could be seeing these as everyday work trucks.
And this is going to be I think this is going to be a big factor for people that are potentially looking at buying one. What's the towing capability? Obviously, that's important. Not everybody's going to use it necessarily for that, but honestly, if you buy a truck, rather, even if you don't plan on towing very often, you still want the capability to be there when you need it.
Correct.
And so
it's like a sports car.
Mhm.
You may not be doing 200 miles an hour every
you
day,
may not
but
be going 0 to
you
60
want
in
to
3
be
seconds
able
all the time, but
you want to have that ability. That's what you're paying for. That's what you're looking for in that specific vehicle.
so towing capability is important. Well, I don't think the Tesla's going to have a problem with that. We don't know. We have no idea what its towing capacity. Well, we have an idea. We have an idea because Elon tweeted it. He likes to tweet a lot, just like our favorite president.
Yes.
He has tweeted that it's going to be able to tow up to 300,000 pounds. I did not misspeak.
That's 2.5 me's. Just so you guys know.
It's two.
Thanks for the compliment.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
300,000 pounds. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because, your Ram 3500 tows 35,000 pounds. 300,000 pounds. Now, is that outlandish? Yeah. I don't know. They may say it can. I don't think they're going to come out and rate it for 300,000 pounds. But what if they rate it for 100,000 pounds?
Well, yeah.
Okay, you can tow pretty much anything you want to tow.
Well, and
short of a superconductor.
And you've seen over the years that a lot of the trucks try to out tow in their commercials. Remember a couple years ago, Toyota,
yeah,
when they were towing the space shuttle,
mm-hmm.
and everyone's wondering how they did that. Is it CG? What's
Ford
going on with
same
it?
Thing. Okay, but the new Ford F-150, well, they just teased recently an electric Ford F-150. Did you watch that video? Right?
I haven't.
Oh, I watched it. They had it towing a 1,000,000 pound train. That is crazy, 1,000,000 pounds. So, was it real? Was it staged? There might have been some trucks behind it pushing. We don't know.
Yeah,
it could have been staged. But that tells you that maybe it's possible. Maybe it really can tow 300,000. All right, so we don't know yet. But man, if it could tow 50,000, the question's answered. You don't have to worry about towing capacity. What else do we know? 800-volt system. It'll be a fast charging capability.
It's got the suspension.
It's got the adjustable height suspension. Now, okay, that brings up a good point, because one of the things I think truck owners, not all truck owners, but some truck owners are going to be wanting to know, of course, okay, so it's an adjustable height suspension, but is my truck customizable?
Mm-hmm.
Because like you take we were down at SEMA, you saw some of those trucks.
Anything and everything you could possibly want.
Suspensions on those were crazy.
Yep.
I'm a short guy. He mocked me all the time for it, but there were some of those trucks I literally almost could have walked under without ducking.
That is true.
Okay, I would have ducked a little bit, but not much. I'm a short guy, but still, that's crazy. And so they were, your lifted trucks, right? My point is, they can customize these trucks.
Correct.
You can throw different suspensions on them for rock crawling, different things. Is Tesla going to have that capability? I'm sure they're going to want to work with your aftermarket manufacturers, Terraflex and some of the others, put on Fox shocks. What kind of shocks they're going to have for people that want to use it for that.
For off-roading,
towing. For off-roading, exactly.
Towing your toys, whatever you want to do.
Can you turn it into a Ford Raptor type of vehicle that can run the Baja, right? So, I don't know. I kind of doubt that a little bit. It's not going to be a one-size-fits-all type of truck. You just can't do that. So maybe down the road they'll have to come up with a second edition, a second version. So they're going to have to appeal to the mass market. All right. It's going to have all-wheel drive, dual motors.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll help with your off-road capability, your rock crawling, your limited slip differential type of things, right? You need that. It's going to be able to, Elon tweeted it should be able to parallel park itself. That's cool. I don't think Truck Buyer is going to buy it just for that. But those little extra things that they throw in, 360-degree cameras.
Yeah, that's huge.
Now, what are the things that Ford has that makes it so appealing?
Well, Ford, if you take a look back over the last even 8 years, they came out with the EcoBoost, the 3.5,
yep.
Which is kind of that in between.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily a work vehicle, but it's for someone that wants a vehicle that can still tow moderately and still get good gas mileage and everything else.
Twin turbo.
Correct.
The 3.5 liter twin turbo.
Which I have a friend of mine that has his. He loves it. He tows with it all the time. He's happy he got the 3.5. Now, I wouldn't necessarily agree. I know there's been some difficulty with the aluminum bed, the aluminum frame, or the aluminum sides and everything like that with getting them repairs. They went to that because it was going to be cheaper to
I
repair.
wouldn't buy one because of that.
Yeah, if I had to take a look at it, I'd go back to the steel one, just because the repair on it, they were expecting to be cheaper than it was to work on steel if you damaged it, and it hasn't necessarily come that far. But over time, maybe. But me personally, again, the aluminum. Ford has kind of set that standard as far as what's the upcoming, what's up and coming with the trucks.
Let's talk about some of the features that the Ford F-Series have that I think make it an appealing truck, right? Hill descent control, electronic locking rear differential, trailer brake controller, right? So, and then pro trailer backup assist. So those things I think allow somebody that uses it for towing to easily use it for that.
Well, and Ford,
right? You push a button to control, help you control that trailer.
Well, and Ford and Ram this last year, Ford came out with it first, gave that 360 camera even if you're towing.
Yep.
Which is huge for those people that have the boats and big toys that they're towing around. Still speculation on Tesla's 360 if it's going to be the same or not.
Yep.
But...
And then almost 2,000 pounds of payload. So I don't know if you mind. Let's wrap this up a little bit.
Okay.
In a nutshell, give me a couple things, and then I'll say a couple things, and see where this goes. But what are some things that Tesla has to have in this truck, maybe look wise or capability or features, does it have to compete with the big three U.S. automakers? Give me one.
I would say accessibility to aftermarket parts is going to be huge.
Yep.
For those people that want to,
we've mentioned that. Yep.
Put the tires on, a rack up front, whatever they might want to do, wrap it, things like that. I think that's going to be key because as we found out with a lot of the Jeeps, they're accessible. People are able to customize them the way that they want. So I say customization.
Jeep Gladiator was huge at SEMA. Now I don't know how it's going to compete against these other trucks. I don't think it'll even get close to Ram in my opinion because it's kind of a niche market. But can a Tesla owner customize it like a Jeep Gladiator?
Yeah, people want to have the ability to, even if they're not going to.
Right.
So I would say customization. I would say being able to use it as if it was one of the gas-powered big three. I mean, being able to use that truck in the same manner that you would any other truck is going to be huge. And then...
Okay, let me throw one out. The all-wheel drive, the dual motors, I think is critical. Rivian truck, I shouldn't have thrown this one out there, but it's coming out, and it's going to have an inbound mounted motor for each wheel, which is going to help it with slip, and so it helps it with off-roading and rock crawling, that type of thing. Now, we won't get in too far to that. I'm just teasing that. Maybe Tesla will have that. From what I know, it's going to have the dual motors. That's a good thing. Dual motors is great. That's going to help. All right. Now, here's one thing I think, let's just throw out the obvious, right? The Tesla truck has to have a high towing capacity. I would say to compete against the big three U.S. automakers needs to be, I would say, at least 20,000 pounds. Obviously, they've teased 300,000 pounds, so I don't think there's going to be an issue with that. It's probably going to be well above the 20,000, but I just put it out there. I think it needs to be able to tow at least 20, probably at least what the Ram does, which would be 35,000.
Yeah,
and it sounds like it will.
You would expect more from this type of vehicle.
They have crazy amount of torque.
Correct.
And so with that crazy amount of torque that they have, I don't think they're going to have an issue with towing. And that's going to be number one concern for people wanting to buy an electric truck. And I think you can pretty much throw that one out the window. With the torque that they have, they're going to be able to tow a lot.
Yeah.
More than you can expect. What else do you think?
Those are the two main ones that I can really think of.
Well, payload is important.
Correct.
Okay, so your top trucks right now, about 2,000 pounds payload. I personally think that they'll build the truck to have plenty for that. So I don't anticipate that being a problem. Here's some things I think we need to watch for. And I think, okay, so you throw those ones out. Okay, great. Your truck owners, I think the one elephant in the room is going to be, and maybe people, you need to think about this. Of course, it's range, right, with an electric.
Correct.
Now they're saying that this Tesla CyberTruck should be able to have a range of 400 to 500 miles. I believe that because, they came out, was it last year? I think they announced the model, the Roadster. Okay, the Roadster and the truck are not in the same category, but the Roadster is supposed to have a range of 600 miles. So obviously they have the capability
Correct.
to have a lot of range. But we know that when you tow with an electric, it significantly reduces the range.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the one thing, in my opinion, that Tesla needs to do to convince truck buyers that this is a great truck that they need to buy is that when they tow, what's their towing range?
Mm-hmm.
What's their max towing range? If it's half or less, that might be a problem. Now, I hope that they've worked out bugs and figured that out because, people have tried towing with the Model Y, and that's how we know that, definitely reduces your range. Hopefully this one is going to have better range that's more than half of that 400 to 500 that will throw that kind of out the window for truck buyers.
You don't want to take your boat to the lake and not be able to get it back.
Exactly.
Right.
All right. Well, I think that's about it. Can you think of anything else that this truck needs to have? Okay. I've got one
Throw
other.
something out.
Got one other. Truck bed size.
Yeah.
Bed size is important, right? And your Ford F-150, you can get one with a really big bed.
Mm-hmm.
So it needs to have and again, this truck can't appeal to everybody, so it just has to have a decent sized bed, one that can fit a lot of things. If you go down to the store and you need some 10-footer 2x4, well, you can be able to take those home, right?
Similar to my bed, it's got to have big things in it, be able to hold that bed, and still be able to ride comfortably.
Yeah, see, there you go, right, guys? You just need to be able to fit. My friend here, Lucas.
1.5 Lucases is the capability of the bed of the truck.
I like it. Well, I think that about wraps it up. I mean, right now it's just a lot of speculation. We have no idea. We've seen some pictures. I think from the pictures, I don't know. That'd be my one big concern is how big's the truck bed size going to be.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to fit aftermarket parts like you talked about,
Mm-hmm.
customize it for off-road capability, things like that? And then what's your towing capacity going to be, especially your towing range, right?
It'd be huge.
It's going to be huge. Huge.
Now, I will say I'm pretty excited about it.
I'm excited about it.
I want to see it. It's evolution for vehicles. It's evolution for all of us to be able to have this type of vehicle at our fingertips and see where it goes.
I don't think every truck owner, somebody's looking for a truck right now, is going to want that truck. Personally, I think it's going to appeal mostly to your early adopters, people that like the technology and that are excited about, those capabilities. Obviously, towing, then I don't think I have to worry a whole lot about that. But people that mostly are going to use it to drive around town, people that want a truck but maybe haven't bought one because of the fuel economy, right? But they want a truck. Well, now they can buy a truck that they can commute to and from work. And so I think, in my opinion, that's who it's going to appeal most to. I could be totally wrong, but that's kind of where I picture this truck fitting in.
Well, if you were wrong, that wouldn't be the first time.
No,
it happens.
Last time was a couple years ago, but
Don't
tell my wife I said that.
I'm going to send her this message right now.
All right, guys. Well, we're excited about it. We will follow up after the announcement, talk more about it, and then we'll have all the numbers, how it fits in, and have a better discussion, then be able to figure out exactly how it fits in the market and who might be able to buy it.
I couldn't agree more. I can't wait to see it and see everything that the speculation, squash it, see what's better and everything else. So we appreciate you guys checking out this video.